And back! We're back. We're going to be continuing this reading. So we left off here. I still asked the head cardiologist about leaving, but my expectations are low enough. Now that I'm not disappointed anymore when I don't get a reply. The way he shuffles around the answer short that there is at least some hope. At some point I stopped watching TV. I didn't know why, I just did. Maybe it was the wrong kind of escapism of my situation. I started reading instead. There was a small library at the hospital, although it was more than a storage room of books. I began working my way through it, but small stacks at a time. After consuming them, he ate books. That's a good diet. I would go back for more. I found that I liked reading, and I think I'd become a bit addicted. I started feeling naked without a book in my hand. Naked. Symbolism. No, I turned off the adult content. But I love the stories. That was what my life was like. The days became increasingly hard to distinguish from each other, differing only by the book I was reading, and whether outside, I felt like time blurred into some kind of gooey mess. I was trapped inside, instead of moving within. A week could go by without me really noticing it. Sometimes I paused to realize that I didn't know what day of the week it was. But other times, all the things that surrounded me would painfully crash into my consciousness, though the barrier of nonchalantness I had set up for myself. The pages of the book would start feel sharp and burning hot, and a heaviness in my chest, which could become so hard to bear at that I had to put the book aside and just lay down for a while, looking at the ceiling as if I was going to cry. But that happened only rarely, and I couldn't even cry. Finally! Today the doctor came and gave me a smile. He seemed excited, but not very. It's like he is trying to make an effort of being happy on my behalf. My parents are here. It's been a few days since I've seen them. Both of them are even sort of dressed up. It seems purported to be some kind of special occasion. It's not a party. I agree. Why did your parents dress up like that? It's not a party. You're kind of in a bad situation. There is a ritual the head cardiologist has. He takes his time sort of reading his papers, then sitting them down aside, as if to make a point of the pointlessness of what he just did. Then he casually sits down at the edge of the bed next to me. He looks at me in the eyes for a moment. Hello, Hisayo. How are you today? I didn't answer him, but I smiled a little back at him. I believe you can go home. Your heart is strong now, and with some precautions, you should be fine. We have all the medication sorted out. I given your father the prescription. The doctor handed a sheet of papers to my dad. whose expressions turned wooden as he read it quickly. So many. I take it from his hands and take a look myself. Feeling numb, how am I supposed to react to this? Whiteness. Whoa, 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 whoa! That's a lot. The absurdly long list of medications started back at me from the paper seams. Oh man, this stuff is really messing up on me. Insurmountable. They all blend together in the sea of letters. This is insane. Side effects, adverse effects, constructed, the dosage are list lines after lines of cold precision. I tried to read them, but it is futile. I can't understand any of it, attempting to only make me feel sicker. All this for the rest of my life, every day. I'm afraid that the best we can do at this point. However, the new medications are always being developed, so I wouldn't be surprised to see that list fade over the years. What kind of confidence boost is that? I'd have felt better if he had said something at all. They hadn't said something at all. Also, I've spoken with your parents, and they believe that it would be the best if you didn't return to your old school. What? Please calm down, Hisayo. Listen to what the doctor has to say. Oh, that was my dad. Calm down. The way he said it tells me that he knew full well that I wouldn't like it. Am I going to a homeschool? Be homeschooled? Whatever. My concern shows it's ignored. Well, all understanding. Education is paramount. However, I don't think that is wise for you to be without supervision. At least not until we're sure that the medication is suitable. So I've spoken with your parents about a transfer. It's a school called Yamaku Academy that specifies in dealing with disabled students. Disabled? What am I? It has 24 hours of nursing staff, and it's only a few minutes from the High Regards General Hospital. The majority of students live on the campus. Think of it as a boarding school of sorts that designed to give students a degree of independence while keeping help nearby. Independence? It's a school for disabled kids. Don't try to discuss that fact. It was really the free. There was a 24 hours nursing staff, and you wouldn't make a hospital being nearly a nearby selling point. Of course, that's only if you want to go, but your mother and I aren't really able to homeschool you. We went out there and had a look at a couple of weeks back. I can't talk today. I think you'd like it. It looks like I really don't have a choice. Compared to the other heart problem, people with your condition usually tend to live long lives. you need a job one day, and this is a good opportunity to continue your education. This isn't an opportunity. Don't call it an opportunity. Don't call it a goddamn opportunity. Well, you should be excited at the chance of going back to school. I remember you wanted to return to school, and while it's not the same one, a special school, that's an insult. That is what I had to say. It's a step down. It's not what you think. All the students are pretty active in their own way, sort of way. It's guaranteed towards students that can still get around and learn, but just need a little help in one way or another. Your father's right. And many of the graduates of the school have gone on to do amazing things. A person doesn't have to be held back by any disability. One of my colleagues is another hospital in a graduate. I don't care. A person doesn't have to be held back by their disabilities. That's what a disability is. Okay, we're gonna say check time. Doop! We got 2 minutes. Come on, let's try getting this. I really hate that something so important was discussed for me. But what can I do? What can I do about it? A normal life? It's out of the question now. It's funny. I had always thought my life was actually kind of boring, but now I miss it. Wow, my characters, I'm kind of emo in this. I want to protest. I want to blame this lack of reaction on shock or fatigue. I could easily yell out something now. Something about how I can go back to the school anyway, but no. I don't say anything. In fact is that I know it's futile. I looked around the school feeling very tired of all this. The hospital, doctors, my condition, everything. I don't see anything that could make me feel any better. Different, I would say. There really isn't a choice. There really isn't a choice. I know this because the thought of going to a disability school, what are those even like? So as much as I try to put the positive spin on this, it's very difficult. But I'll try. A clean slate isn't that bad thing. That is all I can think of to get me through this. At least I still have something, even if it's a special school. It's something. It's a fresh start, and my life isn't over yet. It would be mistaken to just resign myself to think that. At the very least, on this video. If you guys like this video, give it a like, subscribe, start friendship me today, and we will continue. This will be part 3.